opposition political parties expecting, and what should we be expecting from them? Our focus would be with the APC, and I have with me in the studio, I was just about to Chibuike Ikenga with me in the studio this morning. And he is the spokesperson for the APC in Rivers State. If you're aware, towards the end of last year, the congresses that were held had the executives of the party emerge. Some people are still not comfortable with it, but that's where we are. We allow those in the party handle their party issues. Sir, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Happy New Year again.
Thank you for having me, Andrew. Happy New Year to you and listeners.
I like the fact you're looking very sporty this morning. Is it the New Year vibes, or it's just something you decided to come out like this?
Actually, over this Yuletide period, I've been with my people in the Okocha at the village. So we've been so busy with too many activities.
You did not invite me.
It was open. It was very much on the social media, seeing how we interact with our people at the local levels.
Makes a lot of sense. The people have plenty of expectations from governance and government this year, but we would like to know, for your party, the APC, what is in stock for the new year. If you don't mind sharing with us. Last year coming to an end, there was a lot. We had issues with the leadership situation of the party up until we had the national chairman of the party say, well, there is no faction. He says one leader of the party is Chief Tony Okocha, and the executives that emerged from that Congress, he says, are the recognized one. But then the arguments have still continued regardless. But start by telling us, where is the APC and how is the APC looking at 2025, especially in Rivers State?
Thank you very much, Andrew, and thank you, listeners. APC as a party in Rivers State, we had some challenges in the years past, and a caretaker committee was brought into being under Chief Tony Okocha as chairman and a couple of us as members. So we had a clear mandate as to why we were instituted, that we needed to rejig the party, rebuild the party, and most importantly, try to unite all the factions of the party. Factions are usually created because of divergent interests within a political party. So we did meet that expectation, and then we were also asked to, as quickly as possible, after uniting and bringing all the divergent groups together, to ensure that we do a Congress. To midwife a new set of executives. Since the executive led by Emeka Bekee were sacked because of gross ineptitude as well as factionalization within their ranks. So that led to why this caretaker was instituted. And then we went ahead to conducting the election, the congresses at the ward level, at the ward level, at the local government, and then at the state level, which, of course, is strictly speaking the responsibility of the National Working Committee of the party at the national headquarters. But we also gave support services to ensuring that it went through. So it did. And I would like to inform all of us that, yes, when we initially fixed the congresses, we had one Justice Olo in Rivers State High Court who stopped us from going ahead with the Congress, which was fixed by October. But after which, we got a reprieve from the Court of Appeal, which gave us a clean bill of health to go ahead with our Congress. And we did and consummated it, because it's a process. It's not a one-off thing. Once the what congresses took place, delegates who will participate at the local government as well as the state congresses were elected, it was over. But the other things were just mere exercises for jubilation, for celebration, since the initial thing was to do it at the world levels, and we did that successfully up to the...
So as it stands now, you're saying the national leadership of the party, the national executive of your party, is very well aware and recognizes the process of that Congress and the officers that Congress produced.
Clearly, it is their responsibility. The National Working Committee is their responsibility to conduct congresses across the states. And they did so. Or ours as caretaker committee members, or as state executive committee members, or state working committee members, as the case may be, is just to provide support services to ensuring that it was hitch-free. So in this circumstance in Rivers State, ours, we have the support of the national leadership of the party through the National Executive Committee and then up to the National Working Committee.
Okay.
They conducted it, and officers emerged. And it will interest you to know that the national chairman and members of his National Working Committee were here as in persons to inaugurate those so elected by that Congress.
All right. The reason why I had to start from this background so we understand is because of the next question I want to ask. Now, for many people, the new year, amongst the opposition parties in Rivers State, the APC is one that many would see as the one that can or should, come up with something very constructive and formidable with regards to criticizing and checking the activities of government in Rivers State. Now, I was listening to an interview where we had Tony Cole, who was a governorship candidate of your party, saying that in Rivers State there is no APC, no PDP, no nothing, because of the political situation, according to him. In this state, do you think that the APC is positioned well enough to provide a formidable opposition and criticize constructively the activities of government?
Yeah, thank you. Clearly, I'd like to listen to the clip from Tony Cole, if you do have it.
I will try to get it out for you.
So I can respond more appropriately. But be that as it may, I'd like you to know that APC had been the opposition party here for quite a while, from 2015 up to this point. And particularly at this time, after the caretaker committee was instituted by the National Working Committee, we have been quite constructive we have been quite strong in constructive criticisms against the Governor Fubara-led government. We have called the attention to Rivers people and as well as the government to their failures. Untimely delivery of projects, the quality, the cost involvement, and all that. We look at all those, and then the government's lack of ability to try to unite the state rather, for integration, to ensure that all sections of the state are taken along, because that's the responsibility of government. Then to also ensure that qualitative projects as well as increases in the number of projects that the government will do is our interest, and we are doing that effectively. And I'd like you to also know, and the listening public, the fact that we want the Rivers State government to succeed because we are Rivers people, and because we are Rivers people, we must ensure that we put the government on their toes to perform and deliver on the expectations
But there are many that feel that, well, whatever the APC is doing, they've crossed the line between constructively criticizing the government and now becoming a political witch hunt. Is there a law that says opposition can never see anything good that a party in power does with regards to their policies or developmental programs? Because for many people, they say when it's good, you would hear the government of the day in power say, well, these criticisms are baseless, are not constructive, it's just the choice of language, or maybe however it is put out there doesn't really properly dissect whatever it is that government is doing. So is it out of place? Does the APC see anything that the government in Rivers State is doing and would say, okay, this is good, but if they can do it this way, do it that way, to be better? At what point does it cross the line of constructive criticism? That's basically it.
Okay, thank you. Whoever interprets the position of the opposition party is a figment of the imagination of the person. Our responsibility as opposition party is to ensure that whatever resources that accrue to the state are properly receipted, are properly accounted for, are properly used in the development of the state. And let me take, for instance, there was sometime a program embarked upon by the government wherein I think they distributed some, maybe about 5 billion or thereabout. That's what the government claimed they did. And the selection process, we applauded.
I mean, for the economic,
for the empowerment,
small scale businesses.
Yes, small scale and medium enterprises. Yeah, it's a laudable project. It's a laudable project on its own. But the opposition party was critical and is still critical of the processes that we are using in the implementation. So we found out fault lines in the implementation process because they went into nepotism. They were trying to favor some of those who are their relatives in government and to members of the people in government and then the government officials. So those are the things we're talking about. If we look at a project that is laudable, reaching out to the downtrodden to ensure that we put money in their businesses to grow because they are the actual people who manage the economy. Who run the economy. So if government has that type of policy, it's laudable, and APC applauded the policy. But what we criticize in that same policy is the amount. We said that River State government collaborated with federal Bank of Industries and all that. The River State government collaborated with them, and then that as River State federal government through that federal
Bank of Industry
convinced River State government to donate money, and River State government donated only about 2 billion, and then the bank maybe about 2.5, and the bank also 2 billion, maybe about 4 billion or thereabout. So we are saying that as the River State government, with the resources available at their disposal, they ought to have done up to a 10 billion. Those are the grants.
All right, hold that thought. After the commercial, we continue. The morning crossfire continues. Chibuike Ikenga is still very much with me in the studio, spokesperson of the APC. 27, okay, make that 28 minutes past 8. We said a few things. But to you who's listening, I would need your contribution. At what point would you say that constructive criticism crosses the line for an opposition political party? And even most interesting is, do you think opposition political parties in River State, in this particular case, the APC, is well positioned to check the activities of government and ensure that the right things are being done? Well, as much as my guest has said, whatever concerns the leadership of the party has been put to bed and laid to rest, the Chief Emeka Beke led loyalists in the party have also continued to say, well, this is not the case, especially because of a court judgment that reinstated him at the time. Well, I'm pretty sure this battle would continue in 2025. But that's not our focus now. We go straight to the focus of this conversation. I already had asked you, Mr. Ikenga, before the break, and you were trying to explain to me how the APC is playing its role as opposition and constructively criticizing policies and developmental programs of government, which brings me to this question. There are many that say that, well, as a party, you cross the line and some of the things that you do isn't constructive criticism, but working in form of a political tool to witch hunt or paint a bad image about the government. And some have even said that your party is largely controlled by the FCT minister. I'd like to get your response to it before we listen to something that was said by your party governorship candidate in the last election, Tony Cole.
Okay, thank you once again, Andrew. I'd like the listening public to also note that opposition politics is not an easy thing. But they should also take note that opposition politics is the fact that we provide an alternative government, alternative executive, to check the arbitrariness of governments at whatever level. And in this case, in Rivers State, our responsibility is to look at the budget process. Is it open? The budget process, is it inclusive? Look at implementation of projects. Are they such that are inclusive in such a way that all sections of the state are properly taken along, based on a lot of criteria that will be looked at. We as an opposition party have been doing all that and ensuring and looking at the governor, his ability to provide security, his ability to ensure that everybody is treated fairly and all that. These are some of the issues that we look at, and then we take it to the public and then point out to the failures of government. Because when we put governments on its toes, particularly the government of Rivers State led by Governor Fubara, when we put them on their toes, they take time to try and struggle to explain, and sometimes they make adjustments to some of their policies because we have called their attention to it.
So in other words, in 2025, we're expecting more of this
more vibrant opposition.
Yes,
we'll do that. We'll continue to do.
Let's listen to what Tony Cole said about the politics in River State, and most importantly, the FCT minister's role or influence in the APC.
I think one of the biggest problems that we have today in Rivers State is that it's a partyless state. Rivers State is neither APC nor PDP nor PPP. I can't even remember which party the local government officials stand. The House of Assembly on one side may be APC, it may be PDP. Today is one way, it's another, and that's what you have. It's a state of confusion. And that cannot be allowed to continue. But for some reason, we have a minister that is PDP in an APC government who controls to a large extent both APC and PDP structures within the state.
So that's what I wanted us to get. And you heard him now. What do you make of what he says? He says the state is partyless, one. But we still know that the governor is of the PDP and has not left the PDP. So what do you think he meant when he said the state is partyless, and what do you think he meant when he says we have an FCT minister who largely controls the APC and the PDP?
Okay, I just listened to that clip from Tony Cole. You'd recall that I was one of his strongest supporters in this state. Everyone knows I supported him immensely. And he's a perfect gentleman, but unfortunately, Nigerian politics does not require his kind at this time. Reason being that you can't just assess power because you're a handsome man, you're very educated, and then you dress well and you speak well and all that. That's not how it is cut out in our climb today. So fortunately, we supported him with all that we had, and the stronger team took over. And what made it impossible for us to me was that the FCT minister today, former governor of Rivers State, is a colossus of some sort. Not only in Rivers State, even in Nigeria today, he made it practically impossible for APC to breathe from 2015 up till today, until President Bola Ahmed Tinubu emerged as a president. And you know the role he played. So when he says that Rivers State is partyless, I'll agree with him reasonably. But I'll give my explanations.
All right, let's hear it.
Now, because there's a nexus between him saying Rivers State is partyless today because the FCT minister, the former governor, controls largely, quote and unquote, a greater known percentage of both APC and PDP structures in Rivers State.
Does the FCT minister have that control?
No, I don't want. I quoted him. I say I don't want to believe that he has the control, but he has the influence. The FCT minister, I said, is a colossus, is a consummate politician, is a quintessential leader. I can assure you that. As of today, even in Nigeria, everyone like him or hate him. That's the truth. But the FCT minister is not a member of the APC. But FCT minister, like Architect did mention, there is a PDP member who is a minister in an APC-led government, is to tell you the kind of person he's made up. Because he's made up of someone that understands how the game is played, understands development, understands men management, understands empowerment. And if you have a man like that in any part of this state, the man will be strongly influential. That is what he's saying, and I agree with him.
You agree with him that the FCT minister has a huge influence in the APC in Rivers State?
APC in Nigeria, and APC inclusive, because he's a minister in the APC-led federal government, a very strong minister for that matter, FCT minister, and has performed his pairs. In the cabinet.
If what Architect Okocha said is true, and you are also in some way saying, well, he has a point with that, does it then not mean that it is possible that with that influence, the FCT minister could, direct the decisions or some of the activities of the APC as an opposition towards the direction he wants?
Okay, quickly. The FCT minister is a PDP member. He's not an APC member. What we are talking about, I want to align with Architect Toyenko that the FCT minister is very influential. And let me tell you, I heard, and I've tried to confirm, and I'm almost concluding that in Rivers State, as of today, the FCT minister, who is the immediate past governor, during this Yuletide period, sent gifts to all the political parties, APC inclusive, PDP inclusive, Labour Party inclusive, what do you call it, APP, or all the parties, because we were told that he said that we are all Rivers people. Because we are all Rivers people, party is just a vehicle to accessing power. And if you have a man who does that, you should understand that people are likely to follow him across party lines. That's why it appears, and I want to believe what the party Toyenko said, that he's very influential in Rivers State. That is the truth.
Okay. Let's take some messages on Facebook, and then we'll go to the phone lines and hear whether the listener thinks that enough is being done by opposition, and if they also share the thoughts that you have put out there alongside that of Architect Toyenko. This one says from Godwin Agwanwo. He says opposition parties are not doing enough. The APC isn't. Rather, they don't criticize the opposition constructively, but they do so from a place of hate and non-support for the government. It's only to talk about politics that they do and play anti-party politics. Only not doing the necessary thing, but playing politics and anti-party activities. PDAPC, that's what I call it. Godwin from Alakaya. Ihan Ichuku on Facebook says there's no opposition in the state, and those who are alleged to be in opposition are members of PDP-APC groups interested in working the authentic executive of APC led by Chief Emeka Beke. Weakening, he meant. Joel says, I think for me, Chief Tony Okocha had tried enough to put the governor on his toes. He needs to create the governor on accountability on his budget. If the governor and his preferred speaker said they perform 100% on the 2024 budget, can the governor tell us what he has done in agriculture, education, and health? So this guy is simply saying these are the areas you expect your party to highlight. How did the 2024 budget perform? Is okay, Karachi? Okay, well, what you're saying is not for us. Well, we'll take as much as we can, but we'll also go to the phone lines. Remember to send us messages on WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. That's the WhatsApp number. The phone numbers to call are 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0007 is the number to call. My guest that says expect formidable opposition in 2025 from the APC. We don't know of other opposition political parties, but the APC is one of the biggest opposition parties, if not the biggest opposition party in Rivers State. And they say they will be more formidable this year. I have no faith in the current nationally recognized APC leadership in Rivers State. If I'm a party man in Rivers APC and anytime the colossus of Rivers State politics and biggest PDP leader in the state is doing anything, especially in his private life, and I see executives of the APC in Rivers State present, shaking hands with this so-called PDP colossus in a submissive manner, I would be worried. Is this PDP joining our party, or our APC state leadership is about to join him in the PDP? Michael from Okocha raising his concerns. I'm pretty sure it sounds like he's an APC member. Good morning. Kudos to the good people of the state and the governor. Good morning. God said, God in heaven will fight the enemies of the state. I stand with the governor. Okay. That's not even close to what we are discussing now. We'll take a few calls before we go on. 0817-923-0007, 0817-923-0003. Tell us your name, where you're calling from.
Good morning.
And yes, let's get your response. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead. We can hear you.
Yes.
Your name?
Opposition politics is not a bad politics, but can be called good politics. Because the opposition checkmate the current administration and make sure that the current administration does what is right and meets the needs of the citizens, and also shares the dividends of democracy. But the reality is that every political opposition must stand on the area of political justice and equity. In its criticism, it should not go beyond the political equity and justice. If a political opposition goes that, then the political opposition is now using destructive criticism. So it is good to balance the two. That if a political opposition should exist and should help the current government to do well, it should be able to stand on positive criticism so that everything will go well, not on destructive criticism. Thank you.
Thank you. God's Power from Rumudara. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning, Andrew.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful you are guest in the studio, the APC Secretary.
Good morning.
Yes, Andrew.
I
can't agree less with the APC spokesman in your studio when he said that the government in Rivers State should expect a viable opposition in this year, 2025. Because if you recall, last year, when the caretaker committee of the party was formed before the Congress was conducted, the government in Rivers State was like dormant and not working. It was when the caretaker committee led by Okocha began to engage the government with constructive criticism. We thought that after the Supreme Court government judgment that reaffirmed Fubara as the governor, it began a Thanksgiving tree indiscriminately, putting Thanksgiving here and there and all that. So the fellow Okocha came on and said that what you are doing is wrong. You can't be spending taxpayers' money, Rivers' money on frivolous Thanksgiving. It was wrong. And by the grace of God, I think the government of Rivers State stopped that Thanksgiving. Also recall that there was a time that in whipping sentiment, the government of Rivers State began to do all sorts of things, including slaughtering women half nude, just to whip sentiment. It was also the cater committee led by Chibuike Okocha that said, no, what you are doing was wrong. You know, so far, Chibuike Okocha and his executive committee is doing a very great job by providing a viable opposition in Rivers State.
All right, God's power.
In this year, 2025, I expect more from them.
All right, Chima in Rumokuta, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Ikenga.
Yes, Chima, go ahead.
Yeah, I also greet your guest at the studio, Honorable Ikenga.
Good morning.
Yeah, I will start from the statement of Architect Toyoko. He speaks on his own biases. What happened in Rivers State is that the federal government is running an all-inclusive government, so they adopted the FCC minister, who happened to be a PD member. So if that has happened in the federal, the state APC had no option other than to be working with FCC minister. In the aspect of development, you understand what I'm talking about? So I don't know what Toyoko is saying. And in the aspect of fact-checking of the governance of the day, I think the opposition leader led by Okocha is doing well. It's at the optimum. You understand? Because it is because it's fact-checking that kept the governor in a misleading state of mind, thinking that the assembly members have defected. And that is what is causing all this problem now. Because what do we do? What is happening now in Rivers State? It has been long when we have gotten such a position. Some Okocha is very articulate in his facting. That is why you see the governor went to church and he could not pray anything other than praying that God should crush his enemies. So what am I saying? Essence is that I want to explain to us at the studio, since he has promised us more of that happened last year to happen again. This can let them double it. And this particular time again, I want to make him understand that this year, after everything that will happen in the Supreme Court, that let them make sure that the governor of Rivers State should be impeached out of that place. Thank you very much.
All right, Chima, thank you very much. I don't know how possible that would be. Does the APC have members in the State Assembly? Mr. Ikenga. He says he wants the APC to make sure that the governor will be impeached after whatever the outcome of the Supreme Court judgment is. And for that to happen, we require members of the State Assembly. Does the APC have lawmakers in the State Assembly?
As we speak, APC does not have lawmakers. And then the issue of impeachment is not the issue we're discussing about. We want development of Rivers State at this time.
JJ and Rumigbo, good morning.
Good morning, Andrew. Good morning to the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Andrew, let me tell you, they have not been doing anything constructive criticism and opposition. All they were doing is PhD, pull him down, pull him down, pull him down. But I also thank God for today that he's been showing this line. Maybe it's a new fit that they want to get as this new year. Thank God for the year. But I tell you what they have said, they don't have the ability to even carry it out until they are told to do so by the FCT minister. What Toyoko has said is correct, because you don't even know where these people are. And if, like, maybe if not for Bible or Quran, whatever, if we can go and take Okpo and swear that these people who said they are current ESCO of the Okocha-led APC now, that they are not subject to the FCT minister, they take your fall and swear. I think that would have been better. But for me, no matter how small picking country will end up shaking his head, because they don't have any other thing to offer than hate, criticism that will pull down Rivers State instead of developing Rivers State. They will do whatever they want to do if the FCC minister asks them to do it. If not, no action. Thank
All right.
you. That's what we have
Luga
here.
Neche, good morning.
Yeah, Andrew, greetings from Meche to you. Yes, I want to greet your guest. Chibuike, good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you.
Yes, I want to throw the line of Tony Eko. Sincerely speaking, he has said it all. But Andrew, I want to let you know. Please, address Ikenga as personal spokesperson of APC. We have 2 APC in River State, which Ilugaman belongs to Emeka Beke and his group, the authentic chairman of APC in River State. And court have said so. No court has vacated that order. So for Ikenga to come on air and said he represents APC is personal. And I want to say that we don't have any party in River State. River State is partyless, according to Tony Eko. Okay, how can APC minister be a leader of APC?
But look at if you say the state is partyless, don't you belong to a party?
And the minister too is the leader of PDP. Then you say we have a party in River State. Thank God you are there. I've said this all. That APC minister frustrated APC since 2015 or 20 or thereabouts. And today he's still frustrating APC. So for me, there is no vibrant opposition. What you see them doing is pulling him down syndrome. And the River people have realized their antics. And all of us are going to work towards making sure that we deliver him 2027 and also protect him. He's doing well.
All right.
He's using our money judiciously, and we are supporting him. River people are supporting him.
All right, Luga, thank you very much. Let's see. We take one more call, and that would be from Susie in Erema before we come back to my guest and wrap up. Good morning, Susie.
I greet your guest, Honorable Ikenga. I greet you.
I greet you too, my brother.
I think it is actually the misconception of the ruling party in River State as we speak that attack opposition as enemy of the state. Listening to your guest in the studio, in his eschatology, he has mentioned reasons and the gray areas where they actually offered opinion to making sure that even the governor himself had actually, at the end of the day, affirmed that he couldn't have done some of the things he's been able to do without the opinion of the opposition party. Yes, Chibuike is not a member of APC. Neither is he a member of APC as a National Working Executive Council of APC. The people that came here last week, they actually came as the Executive Council of APC to inaugurate Okocha, who is the chairman, and the man in the studio, Chibuike Ikenga, is the PRO. To this extent, I want to say that the governor of River State, are we also saying that the PDP in River State is also opposition to the governor of River State? Because I heard you said that the governor is still a member of the PDP, has not left the party. Because the last time I checked, he has not even spoken to the chairman of the PDP in River State, Chibuike, because the PDP is supposed to be protecting him here. But because he refused to even hobnob with the party in the state, which party does the governor belong to? So we are talking about APC as opposition or enemy of the governor, and then PDP too is also an enemy of the governor. So which party does the governor belong to?
All right, thank you, Susie. But I think it's very clear the PDP is a member of the governor is a PDP member, and that hasn't changed. He doesn't need to hobnob with the leadership of the party or speak with them for you to see before you believe whether he is or not. He came into the office of governor on the wagon of the PDP and has not said otherwise till this time. Until that happens, we'll still look at him as a member of the PDP. Remember that the national, some of the national members of the party leadership had visited, including the governors of the Governors Forum of the PDP had visited, just to be sure. And they gave us the response that, yes, the governor is still a member of the PDP. Let's quickly come to my guest in the studio. We have under 3 minutes to wrap up. There are a few things that were said. I think one important one was the mention of Chief Emeka Beke. Just so that you conclude on that. Meanwhile, this person says, for me, I believe the APC will take over River State in 2027. Daniel from Port Harcourt. Livinus says, the opposition does not see anything good in present administration in this state, but the citizens are happy with the government of Governor Fubara. And if democratic principles should be watchword, oppositions are not true Democrats here in River State. All right, that's Livinus. Quickly, Mr. Ikenga, as we wrap up.
Okay, thank you, Andrew, and listeners. I think that some of those who have taken a swipe at our responsibility of checking the SSCs and arbitrariness of government as opposition party are doing so because of emotion, sentiment, and a lack of understanding of what opposition politics is. I would like to inform them that even what you think is going on in the state is being strengthened very seriously, vigorously, by the position we have taken to calling the attention of government to what would be the failures should they not take this route, to what would be the failures if they are not transparent, if they are not inclusive, if there is no security in the state, if there is no integration. These are the things. They may not understand what all this entails, but those who understand do understand. That's the essence of democracy. There must be people who are in government. There must be people who checkmate the SSC, because they say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. If you allow people in government to, if they're unfettered, they will continue to do things to their own whims and caprices without looking at what benefits the people. That is given. And then I want to respond to one particular issue where someone did say that if he sees opposition members with the FCT minister, let me inform them clearly. Listen, all of you listen. When you go to the north, you see Atiku's daughter or son is wedding. You see APC leaders there, both in government and in party. When you see Ganduje's son or daughter is wedding, you see PDP members, Labour Party, across everybody. They attend those private functions. So if I'm invited to a function by the FCT minister in this Yuletide period, and he said, look, for Christmas sake, I'm doing a Christmas party, why won't I be there? Is FCT minister not from River State? If I'm also invited by the governor of River State to say that as a citizen of River State, I should come to attend government function, why won't I be there? Am I not a River State? That does not in any way show that we are pulling the governor down. What we are doing is for the interest of the people. We have to check the SSCs of government, and then when we also take over the reins of government, which will come in 2027, the party that the governor and his team belongs to will become also opposition party who will check our SSCs. All right. That is what it is.
Thank you very much. On that note, to wrap it up, Hello Port Harcourt comes up immediately afterwards. Good morning.